What have you done? So if you want to know about some CSS text shadow and transformation and some skew, I was inspired by some video, and I just based on that tutorial I made a little change on it, and I was making a video. So let's see. So this is the animation. So the 3D text going up and down in Y direction. For the shadow, I probably do something about it when the text is moving in a Y direction. I didn't have any ideas about it, so I just left it as it is. And the other text, which is for fun, it's just static. So yeah, that is just a demonstration, and let's move on to next. Just gonna comment that out. So and bring in the empty component that is not empty. So it's supposed to be this one. Redo component. Alright, that's empty. Now I'm gonna start with component Javascript part. Choose text. I'm gonna need. So these two are text I want. Now we move on to HTML part. HTML. Change the design text 3D and up. Let's go on skewing up. So that's why it has up class. Attribution data text. So we needed this data attribution because when I add a pseudo class for shadow, text shadow, I want to pass the text I'm using to the pseudo class. So I'm using data attribution to pass the data. Next one is pretty much the same. I probably should make it reusable and run a for loop. So I will apply that next time. Maybe make a little change here and there. So this is my text rendering, right? Next part is yes. So this is I'm using set list and color and importing Google font, and that's my color. This is really my shadow color. Is it shadow color? That's my 3D color, I see. Color 3D. That's color 3D. And let's start writing some code. Starting with hosts, display flex. By default, the Angular component is inline because the name of component, which is the Angular component, their name, their selector name is not defined in standard. It's a custom element. So by default, everything is inline. So for this, I wanna center this text, so I'm gonna use a flex. So just center it. And I wanna, let's see if it's center. That is that's centered. Right, side by side. And let's give a background color. It's gonna be, I think this color is tomato. Okay, and let's give it mean height 100 viewport height. There we go. That is, so now it's just a host selector, basically is some container. Now let's write the text. First I want to make it uppercase. Okay. Uppercase. And the font. I wanna make my font size 5, or let's give it 5 round. Family, double C for back person. So I found this font from Google Font. Very interesting. It's like bleeding. It's like a font is bleeding. Right? Some water is dripping out. I don't know if it's blood or water or some booger is coming out. I don't know. So, but I found it very interesting, and I chose this. Mostly very interesting. And let's change the color for font. Color is yellowish, khaki color. Khaki was the name of the color. I got that from grade school. I was trying this color and what color matches to this background, and I found the color matches. And let's so let's apply some shadow. It's gonna make it look like a 3D text. So we're gonna use a text shadow to make it look like a illusion of a 3D. So let's do that. Shadow. First, I'm gonna use the features from SAS using for loops and iterate a few times to make it SAS text shadow property. Make it look like to get a text shadow like what I want. I don't know what I'm saying. Let's just look it up. Okay. So 1px is in extraction to the right, and -1 px, the y direction, to up. And take shadow blur is color for shadow. And we're gonna repeat that 4 times. We're gonna cover the 4 sides, up, down, left, and right. So I think that should cover everything here. Let's see what you get. So right now it looks like normal because we haven't applied it yet, just empty list, the list with default value. So what you're gonna do is now we're gonna run the for loop. Now 0, 2, 3, so we are running 0, 1, 2, 3, we are running 4 times. Text, shadow, declare a variable. And I'm gonna have to write that out. Separator will be space. Text. Next line. So from here we're gonna repeat that 3 times. And we're gonna change this on and restart is the 3 and 4. I think that's it. So it's just we are adding for 12 text shadow to text. So yeah, let's see how it turns out. And finally, there is our text shadow, and apply text shadow. By the way, the sets list is immutable, so every time when you there's one more actually. It's actually there's s here, a plural. And now we're gonna append our original, and what's the item we want to append, the separator. What's going on? So make it blur. Now we're getting error. There's no argument to name the separator. Is that right? Separator? You guys get that right? You guys spell it right. Separator. S-E separator. Separator. How do you spell it? Separator. Separator. So I'm gonna just check a little quick if the shadow is there. Okay, shadow is there, so it's not broken. So shadow is there. So when you see it, it's not broken. Okay. Oh, but the list is immutable, so we have to create new shadows, new list every time when we append. So after fixing a few typos, we see something around the text, like a text borderline. Looks like something is around the text, like looks like a text border. So now we are going to skew it and make it feel like a 3D. So let's skew the up selector, transform, skew y direction. That's gonna bring up, bring the target towards the y direction up, and it's gonna make a distortion. And spawn we have, and then this is for inline. Spawn is inline by default. Inline element, they the transform from doesn't apply to spawn, so span element. So we have to change display to inline block and animation floating 2 seconds and delay 2 seconds and duration 3 seconds. And timing function is infinite alternate. And at the very bottom, let's write some keyframes. Floating. Can I write it here? Let's see. So start from 0%, translate y0, and let's copy this. Maybe I can use make a map, SAS map, and loop and create like keyframes. But for I really like for the speed, I will just to manually type everything out. Just a few more steps. Okay. That is 50%, 100%. That's 90. See if it's moving. And oh, it's working. Going up and down, up and down. And now we're gonna bring down the next text. Where is that's the ending bracket down, and transforms to 160. And there you go. Now each one text is skewed up and the other text is skewed down in y direction. So now we're gonna try to make a shadow. I'm gonna use a pseudo class. Content editor data text, and that's gonna just create just the same text right around it. And whatever, that's that. And position absolute because we want to Do I have a relative up here? We're going to position absolute to make them stack each other. And I should have position just we set the parent element set position so parent element position of a parent element to relative, so their children elements find their parent element to right when their position is set to position set to absolute. See, now they stack each other. And what should we do next? And we just set top and left to 0, just for safety. And we're gonna transform before we do that. Now we're gonna bring in text shadow for text. For the text shadow, this time it's empty. So this is where this line 78. This is where we wanna keep our shadow properties. We're gonna use run for loop. And here we go. I from I1 through 4. Text shadow 0 zoom. This is very confusing. I'm gonna go with it. But if you actually try and just tweak a little few times, you wanna get it right away. These are the easiest way to understand these things. Just try and see. I think that's the best way to do it. Text shadow and since it's immutable, we have to create a new list. Shadow separator. Let's see how it turns out. And one more thing, text shadow. What is typing getting me? My computer is so slow. So save it. Now there is shadow. Now you see the like kinda like a blurry dark shadow around it. Can you see? Oh. Now what we're gonna do is first let's make a color of text transparent. That way we only see a shadow. There we go. And we wanna make a z index -1. We're gonna bring shadow back and behind our parent text. There we go. And am I missing anything? Now we're gonna skew that. Text 3D before transform skew x 30 degrees. Text 3D before transform skew x negative. Let's see how it turns out. You just queuing is just you have to just try and see what makes sense to you, and then find out what makes this to you. So there is. So now it's text going up and down. But on the left, you see the text shadow since it's moving. But on the right side, you don't see that it's the text in shadow now right now. It's text itself. So we gonna take care of that by changing text transformation right now. So in our pseudo class selector, just change the transform origin bottom. Is like that. You see a little bit of a text behind. Well, there is our special effect, I guess. I'm gonna link where I was inspired originally, where I was inspired by the video I was inspired. I'm gonna put the link in the description, and thank you for watching.